Since I declared this journey that this would be the best mewing transformation on the internet, I have been, doing my part and actually bringing that into a reality. So I have been digging, researching on how to actually stimulate bone growth, especially for my age, which I'm past puberty, I'm in my early 20s. So the best way to stimulate bone growth is actually with intense forces. Now, this goes against what is popular as of now, that the slow and steady wins the race. You need to hold the bone with prolonged force for it to reshape and reform. Now, that is true especially for children because their sutures are open. Bone grows out of those sutures, so slapping your tongue up on your palate will naturally guide those growing bones into their right form and direction. However, when most of your sutural growth has been done, there's only limited left. The mechanism you rely on, or I will be relying on, is bone remodeling. And bone remodeling happens through mechanotransduction, the process of transforming mechanical stimulus into new and more reformed bone. So mechanotransduction does not actually need holding of the bone for prolonged periods of time in order for it to remodel. That's actually one way to do it, but it's actually not even the most efficient way to remodel the bone. It's the most popular way, especially for facial bones in the current literature, in the current space right now, since orthotropics, orthodontics, it is the way, the more controlled and safe way to remodel the bones of the face. However, since I'm not looking for a safe and controlled way, I'm looking for the most efficient and fastest way to produce bone remodeling, since for this journey that I'm on. The best way to actually do it is with intense intermittent forces. So actually holding the bone desensitizes it, desensitizes it. It loses sensitivity when you hold the force for a long period of time. So you actually plateau faster. Yes, you could still get a limit a limited amount of bone remodeling, but it is just scratching the surface of what you could actually trigger, how much bone remodeling you can actually trigger if you just go for the prolonged holds. So the best way is to remodel bone is with actual intense and intermittent forces, meaning hard forces that are cycling between with rest. So basically hard mewing, rest, hard mewing, rest. And yes, theoretically that is the best way to achieve bone remodeling. And that is what I have found. I'm just sharing it with you guys along with my journey, since I'm actually trying to remodel my face the quickest way possible. This is the best way I have found. Of course, there's no current field out there that intensely pulls the face or the facial bones and then rest and then intensely does it again, because it's actually very unpredictable, or it has lots of risk associated with it. And you're dealing with the facial bones, and facial bones are like a very iffy thing to mess up. There's actually a field of or area of people who do this, and it's the thumb pulling people who like intensely pull for short durations in like intermittent styles. They don't pull it the whole day. And there are some people who actually get good results, like Jordan Wood. Yeah, those that method actually works. I think I could argue it works better than just holding mewing, like just light or moderate mewing for a long time, because that just desensitizes the bone. You would get bone remodeling, but not maximal amount. So, however, my only caveat there is that thumbs are external force. You know, the best way to still trigger growth or bone remodeling the most natural way with the most harmonious growth, I believe, is still with the tongue. So that's my take on it, and also that's just a little tidbit of information, probably a golden nugget I could share with you along my journey. So that's the video for today. If you need a full guide, full wisdom or experience drop from me when it comes to actually getting results from mewing, click the link in my description. That's my ebook. It's filled with all the information I wish I knew when I first started out, and it would have saved me years of my journey just figuring stuff out. So if you want results, you want them fast, click my ebook. Click the link in my description. That's my ebook, and that's the video for today. Goodbye.